And that's it. That wraps up the installation of a ceiling fan, a generally easy project for any DIYer to tackle. So consider doing your next ceiling fan yourself. Today's episode of DIYnot's a little bit different. Normally we're all about advocating taking on projects yourself, but every now and then there are projects you should just let the pros handle. That's what we're going to look at today. Let's go to the kitchen. Hey Kelly, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. This is Kelly King with Kitchens Redefined. That is the company that helped us with our kitchen cabinet project. Obviously something that professionals have done, you can tell just by looking at it. Tell me a little bit about this process. What did you guys do for us?
Well, the idea behind our company is we like to take existing cabinetry if possible and repurpose it because the cabinetry that's here is great, custom built, in great shape. So the idea is to take and refinish it and turn it into something amazing. Something that looks like a brand new cabinet, but without the expense of having to buy them.
That's great. And now when we started, this kitchen was obviously stuck in the 90s. We have a sample of what our doors looked like before, the old 90s oak look. And the first thing you did is you came out, we met, we had a color consultation. Walk the viewers through the whole process if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So what we'd like to do is come into the person's home and take a look at, what the design style are they shooting for. Typically they're trying to move it from a golden oak state into something more modern or whatever it may be. Some people like old world, some people still like European style. So we look at that, try to look at the design of the home, that color consult. We come up with an idea together of what we think is going to work. We go back, we create the samples, and before we ever start the job, the samples are presented so that make sure that it's what you like before we actually start on the project.
Walk the viewers through the actual process itself. Like you spent some time here, you spent some time off-site. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, yeah, for starters, everything starting is this golden oak. And there are years of hand grease and cooking greases and just cleaners that people have used to clean the cabinetry, and it gets trapped down into the top coat that was originally put on here. So in this case it's probably a lacquer. So what we want to do first, very first, we actually go through and tape off everything.
Right.
So we're going to cover the floors, cover the countertops, backsplash, tape off the appliances, because we want to make sure that that's all protected. We're basically wrapping the room like a present. Now, we do that because we want to spray the cabinetry. Professionally, we want this to feel like new cabinetry when it's done. So once all the prep is done or the preparation, next we move into taking the wood and we're going to do a very thorough cleaning process. Well, we might spend anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes cleaning this door because we know that stuff's all trapped down in there. So we spend a lot of time really scrubbing that door to get that gone.
And that makes a big difference between the DIYer and the professional. If I go to clean this, I'm going to get really tired of cleaning it pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
And you've got to get that stuff off of there for the finish to adhere correctly,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And then, once you've cleaned it well, you're down to that nice, new coating that was there once upon a time. Then the next step is to sand it really well. The purpose is to get a very good chemical and mechanical bond when we do the first layer on here.
Great. They took all the doors away.
Yes.
So they spend time here doing just the boxes and then the doors go somewhere else?
We take the doors day one and bring them to our studio, so we're not, that basically minimizes the time that we're in, the homeowner's hair. It's no fun having a contractor, in your home. So by taking and doing half the doors or the doors off-site, it minimizes that time. So you bet we do it that way.
Great. So let's talk about that timeline. From start to finish, how long should a customer expect this process to take?
Well, it does largely depend on the finish that's chosen. When you have oak like this, there are a couple different foundational things we can do. One, somebody may like this golden oak and they want to keep it, so we can clean, sand, and just re-clear coat it, which we call a refresh. 2, we can clean and sand it and paint it, which is a repaint. Or 3, we can clean, sand, and recolor it. We could change the color of this. Say if they wanted more of a brown tone, we could change the stain color to a brown, which is a toning process. So those would be your foundations. Now in your case, you chose a painted finish where we repainted it, and then you added on a designer glaze option as well as a designer distress option. So we came in and we did a foundational base coat, a painted finish, but then we came in and we did some distressing where we put the cracks and wormholes in here. And then over top of that, we did a really soft glaze, a Van Dyke Brown black glaze. And that's what you really get dimension out of it. So that's more of a designer finish. Right. And then when that's all said and done, we put our clear coats on. So to answer your question, yeah, an average kitchen could take maybe 4 days on site to 5 days on site. Just depends, again, on the finish. And then another 4 to 5 days off site. If you add on that designer element of glazing, it might add a couple more days on site and a couple more days off site. So largely dependent on the types of finishes that you pick.
Gotcha. Totally makes sense. A beautiful job. We love how this kitchen turned out. Now this is a show about doing it yourself. And after the professional work is done, what kinds of things can a DIYer do to finish this project?
Okay, well, let's go over here and take a look at the hinges.
Okay.
So, you know, obviously these hinges here are a surface mount. Mm-hmm. So it's very, you know, we of course do this, but it's a great DIY project because you simply take these off and you can buy a little jig to bore that hinge and then buy the new hinges to replace them, which you did yourself. So, you know, it's a very simple process. And then the hardware, you can see these 3-inch on center holes. Mm-hmm. You can go to any hardware shop or online and order hardware that's going to fit. Just measure the center to center and find out what hardware fits. And easy project for a do-it-yourselfer to change out.
And that's exactly what we did on this project. Is we took care of all of the new hinges and the handles for our cabinets. And that's what we're going to talk about next time on the next episode of DIYnot.